Hi, this is Ike from IkesOutdoors.com. Today we're going to be doing a review on a cold steel knife. This is the Bushman. The Bushman is it's a survival knife. This is got the Bowie blade on it. This is available in a different style blade. This one we're going to test today has the Bowie blade on it. Nice thick blade on there. And you'll notice this is a one-piece knife. The handle is actually integrated into the blade. And this has a hollow blade on it. This is what I would deem as a survival knife. And this is Mitch Edwards beside me here. Mitch is going to help me do some of this testing. This is what I'd call a survival knife.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I like the hollow handle on it. What I would do is probably put me a little bit of black tape there, black tape here, and put me a kit together in here. The sheath it comes with is like a nylon sheath, and it also has a pocket on the front of it, so you can put some survival stuff in there as well. So this is what I would deem a survival knife, and it looks like a pretty good one. It's a 7-inch overall blade length, and it's 12 1/4 overall length. It has a 3/32 or 2.5 millimeter blade on it, and this is made out of an SK5 high carbon steel. With high carbon, it has the Teflon coating on it. But with anything carbon, I always like to keep it greased up, and I don't know what you use on them, but I use like a I can't remember the name of what I use. It's like a Teflon type of grease.
I use a Johnson's paste wax.
Okay.
And it's real good. You can cake it on there. It doesn't come off real easy. And
what's that called?
Johnson's paste wax.
Okay. So you want to keep something on this to protect this blade. Where the nylon or where the Teflon coating is, probably not going to rust. But your edge out here is that's exposed. You're going to want to take care of that and make sure that don't rust. And when I store mine, I don't know how you store yours, but when I store mine, I don't ever store them in the sheath. I store them separately, but that may just be me. So this is, and with this hollow handle, you can also, if you find yourself in a survival situation, which we're going to use an old handle I got from a rake that broke, but you can also shove this thing down onto a sapling or something you find out in the wild, or you can cut down with this knife. It's got a hole here. If you don't have the means, if you do, you can put a pin in there to lock this thing in place. If you're out in a survival situation, you don't have it, it does secure on there pretty good. So you can turn this thing into a spear. So a lot of good applications for survival, and a lot of good just utilitarian applications as well. So we're going to do some testing with this thing and see how well it holds up, see how well it performs. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see how sharp it is. Right out of this has not been sharpened by me or anything. We're just going to give it the same sharpness test I give to every knife I get. It's not bad. For a knife straight out of the box, that's pretty good. You can see on my arm there, it's pretty bald. So pretty good for a knife straight out of the box. We're going to attempt to dull this blade up and see how easy it is to resharpen too. But being that high carbon steel, it should sharpen up really good.
Yeah, high carbon's really nice to sharpen.
Yeah.
Another thing that a lot of people don't realize about high carbon is it will rust, but it'll get a patina on it before it rusts, and that patina, it kind of makes it a dull gray color, and that'll actually help to prevent from rust.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like your regular mild steel like angle iron or whatever that you'll find. It's fairly rust resistant.
Okay. That's why we got Mitch along with me today, is because Mitch is a little bit more of an expert on this metal than I am. Mitch is what do you do for a living, Mitch? Machinist. Mitch is a machinist. So I'm a welder, so I just weld it up. It don't really matter what it is to me. But Mitch is a machinist, so he's a little bit more of an expert on this type of steel than I am. So we're going to give it a few tests here. The first test I'm going to give it is I'm just going to try to abuse it on this wood and see how well it does here. Put it over here where it's soft, I guess. It's hitting that wood, and I'm not hitting this very hard, and it's really gouging that. I mean, I'm just doing, you can see I'm not doing a full stroke on it. I'm just doing nice, quick little strokes, and it's really digging in there. What do you say, a good 1/4 inch, maybe more?
Oh, at least 1/4, 3/8. Another thing that a lot of survival guys like to do is what's called a feather stick. They'll actually shave the wood real thin, and that's being a survival knife. For making fires.
For making fires out of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
there
done
we
a
go.
pretty good job there.
I ever get in a survival situation, I'm gonna hope Mitch is there with me to keep me alive. So it does pretty good on that. Blade, even after all that, the blade's still digging nice and deep. So let's try it out on a few other things.
And this is right about where he was chopping, and it's still shaving hair pretty good.
You know, and the knife, there's no damage to the blade. The blade's not chipped or nothing like that. I know I've bought some inferior knives before.
Oh, yeah.
And I bought one knife that I got a deer with it, and when I got to the rib bone, I pushed it through the rib bones, and I didn't go through the sternum, went off to the side, and it chipped the blade on the knife, so that knife got thrown away real quick. So, knife's still good and sharp, no dents, no dings to the blade. So, let's see how well it cuts leather here. This is just an old leather belt, about 2 inches wide. So let's just see how well it cuts leather. Not too bad. I kind of pulled there at first because I was afraid I was going to cut my eye out or something. That's a little bit better. And be careful with these knives when you're doing stuff like this. Don't pull them toward your face like I was just trying to do. So, cuts leather pretty good. We got a little bit of nylon, just a webbing like a seat belt material type stuff. Just slices right through that, no problem. So, let's try, what else we got?
I'd like to try a few things on this. The thing is, with the survival knives, you only want really one knife. You don't have to be carrying all that weight.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Another thing on this is a lot of the time you need a smaller knife or one you can control real easy. And if you can hold on to this, we'll see how it. I've seen this on another guy doing so. Yeah. This is like controlled cuts, trying to get around small curves and stuff like that. Seems to do all right. When you really choke up on it, because this is a little bit narrower back here, it's not near as bad as you'd think. A lot of bigger knives are kind of hard to handle.
That's one of the things I noticed about it is I like the size of the handle, and I'm like when you get up in here, it's got a good feel to it.
Yeah,
I mean it's got a real good feel to it. Good, and you're able to hold on to it real well. So I really like the grip on this thing. Okay, Mitch is going to attempt to split this piece of wood now.
Should split pretty easy. This is just pine, so it's not, not nothing really hard. But it's a good test. Yeah, it splits pretty good.
Yeah, no problem there.
A lot of these thinner knives will go through the wood easier than really thick knives. So this is being a little bit thinner than what I'm used to. Is actually kind of nice. And this is, this is something I would put my knives through. When you're out there cold trying to build a fire, you can't find any kindling, or all you've got is wet wood. You've got to get to the inside to get to the dry wood, so that's where this comes in real handy. The coating's starting to wear a little bit, but you can expect that. You're driving it between two pieces of wood, so it's going to do that. It's going to rub on it. But
yeah, the abuse that we're putting this thing through is you're not going to do this with it unless you're in a survival situation.
Yeah.
So this is, for most part, this knife you're not going to do this with it on your average everyday trip to the woods.
But it's nice to know that you can if you have to.
Definitely. And if it's a survival knife, if I'm buying a survival knife, I'm going to take it home and I'm going to do this to it anyway, just like Mitch said. I want to know that the knife that I'm going to be relying on to save my life is going to hold up.
Alright, with my survival knives, I want to be able to split a piece of wood that's as big as the blade is long. So if I've got an inch sticking out, that's a true test to me that the knife will hold up to that kind of punishment. This isn't near as big. I'm going to start out slow with it and see what we can do. But actually I'm going to split this piece here since it's a little bit shorter and use this longer one as baton. Here's where the true test comes in when we're beating up here on the tip. Not too bad. No nicks. Put that up. Not bad. The finish is actually wearing fairly well. Blade staying straight. Starting to lose a little bit of the edge, but it's holding it fairly well. It actually chops fairly well too. I generally like a little bit thicker and heavier knife for chopping, but it's not bad. Not too bad. The edge is holding up really well, no nicks.
Okay, so this is the Bushman by Cold Steel, and as far as I'm concerned, for a survival knife, it'd be one that I would be definitely happy to carry in my pack.
Yeah.
We haven't resharpened it yet, but where Mitch was just splitting that piece of wood with it, it's a little bit dull there, but it's still razor sharp down on the end, still razor sharp out on the edge of it. And being high carbon steel, I'm sure it's gonna sharpen up just fine. We got one little nick in the blade right there.
Nope. Yep.
One little bitty nick. I mean, it ain't much of nothing.
You can sharpen that.
Oh yeah,
you know, 2 times sharpening it.
And the blade right on the tip, it's curled just a little bit. But I actually, when I was taking this off the spear, it was wedged under so good I knocked it off and it actually fell down and hit the concrete. So the very tip of it is not even curled; it's just blunted a little bit. So I'm pretty impressed with it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not bad. We didn't do a torture test on it, but we did everything that I would want to do or need to do, I think, if I was out, somewhere and I was out there for a few days and had to survive. It's not a bad knife.
Yeah, we didn't do a destruction test on it. We just did like we would,
normal use.
Normal use, like we were gonna. If I was gonna take this and put it in my survival pack, these are the tests that I would give it to ensure that it's gonna function like it should if I get in a survival situation. So I'm pretty impressed with it. I like the handle on it. I like the sheath that it comes with. Got that pocket on there, so you can make your little kit up. And I think it's a good all-around knife, a good all-purpose knife. I think it's really going to function just like it's advertised, and that's what when we test products out, we test them. We expect them to perform to the way they're advertised, and I think this Bushman is definitely going to do that. And I was kind of leery about the thinner blade, but I'm actually pretty impressed with it. The blade is still really good and straight. I mean, did not bend at all, and a little bit of wear on that Teflon coating, but considering what we did with it, it held up actually better than what I thought it would, considering what we were doing with it. So that's the Bushman, and that's made by Cold Steel. You can check out their website, coldsteel.com, and we're going to do a couple other tests. So this is the first video in a series of 3 that we're going to be testing some Cold Steel knives. So we're going to move on to the next test now. Be sure to check this out. Good all-around knife, good hunting knife, good survival knife, and one that I think is going to be in my pack from now on. So that's the Bushman by Cold Steel. Check that out, coldsteel.com. And be sure to check out our website for more videos, ikesoutdoors.com.
I like good times, good wine, good smoke, and a 5-piece bed. And I can't help